She is one of Africa's smallest countries, set on the hub of South Africa and on the borders of Mozambique, where culture and tradition is still strongly enforced into the 21st century. She is Swaziland. Ruled by His Majesty King Mswati III, Swaziland gained its independence in September 1968 after being a British colony. The Swazi people strongly pride themselves in their tradition, scenic landscape, wildlife, and most importantly, their rich culture, which is strongly preserved. Take for example the good old classic Swazi hut, or shall I say, the modern classic Swazi hut called Guqa is a Swazi traditional house. The principal Swazi social unit remains in the homestead, which is the grandmother's hut. With the traditional artifacts made by the grandmother, it illustrates many faces of the ancient Swazi way of life, both socially, economically, and religiously. The handmade jewelry portrays Swazi history and the external influences which shape part of Swazi heritage. In the Swazi culture, it is crucial for children to learn about their culture, and they are installed about it from an early childhood, and they also learn about their Swazi culture in schools as part of their school syllabus.
I'd say it's very important that we teach our culture to our children, because if we don't teach our children our culture, then whose culture are we going to be passing on to our children? For the continued positive existence that we currently enjoy in this country, I think it's imperative that we actually pass on our culture to our children. It's very important for our children to know about their culture, to know about where they come from, because in the great scheme of things, when you then feel that you have to act in leave someone's culture, you know what I mean, you find that a lot of you put yourself at a disadvantage. A lot of these things that you're supposed to be emulating, you don't know, you've just seen them on TV, you read them on a book. Whereas when you're talking about your culture, this is your thing, you know what I mean? No one can then tell you what is right or what is wrong, because it's something that you know. So yeah, I think it's very important in terms of identification, in terms of being self-driven as a people. There's a huge difference between going on a day trip to like a cultural institution like the cultural village or the museum, and actually living the culture, you know what I mean? Because this is not our culture is not something that's archaic, it is something that is living, it's something that is continuing. Yes, certain things have changed over the past few years, but there's a big difference between someone who actually practices, who lives this thing.
His Majesty's government strongly preserves the Swazi culture, focusing on special aspects of it, namely the music and dancing of umhlanga, the reed dance, and the ingwala, meaning the first fruits ceremony. Young women gather together wearing the traditional attire, which is the liqebesha, a beaded necklace with colors of the Swazi flag. Emahia, which is the heavy designed and printed material, and emafahlawane, which is the brown anklets with oval-shaped attachment. A married Swazi woman wears sibwaba, which is the traditional skirt, and wears her hair up to mark that she is married. Likewise, men gather together for the vigorous warrior dance known as sipaca, powerful in drums, singing and clapping. The men wear lion skin cloth called emajobo in Siswati. The dance always ends when on the last beat they all fall down, a fate they wish on their enemies. Swaziland's cultural heritage is deeply rooted and carefully protected and sustained. The Swazi people, eMaswati, are happy people full of exotic culture and tradition. A slow developing country, the Kingdom of Swaziland is one of the